The 2014 remake film RoboCop is without question a movie that's played with a lot of problems. I don't like this film. It's terrible. It has some terrible story beats. And this film tries too much to be like the 1987 film. But in a lot of ways, it doesn't have the heart and charm of that original movie. Yeah, so Hollywood apparently never learns this lesson as it tries to do another remake that really didn't need to happen. Honestly, the 1987 RoboCop film is one of the best sci-fi movies, like I mentioned before in a past review. But this film, man, it is real horrible. So this film takes place in 2028. Omnicorp, they're revolutionizing warfare as they have robots to keep the peace and the law and order. Alex Murphy, this time played by Joel Kinnaman, he is a cop that loves his family, but during one night he gets almost nearly killed in a car explosion. And then from there you have him come back, and then he has emotions. And then this film, well, the plot is all over the place. I must say, there is 3 writers in this film, and that tells me that the whole script to this film is done poorly. If I have to say, watching this film for the first time, I was thinking, when are the interesting parts going to happen? Sure, you have a good cast with Gary Oldman, Michael Keaton, Samuel L. Jackson, and a few others, but it's not enough to keep me engaged. Other than the action scenes, which are pretty cool, I must say. This film fails to do what the original 1987 film did. Half its things presented, such as how Alex Murphy lost his humanity being gone and him just being a straight-up cyborg. But no, in this film, Alex Murphy, he's just a guy with emotions who is a cyborg. And I was thinking to myself, shouldn't he have lost his emotional attachment? But you know, this movie tries to do its own thing, and it comes out with pretty terrible results. I can't help to compare this to the original movie simply because in the original film it had so many things that make you really think about how Murphy went from a family man to this cyborg in the original film. But in this, there is really no rhyme or reason. In fact, there is a plot in this movie about what happens later on in the film, but it's not convincing enough. This movie's devoid of humor. It's PG-13, just like the last film previously. Like, while this movie could have been rated R, it wouldn't have saved this dumpster fire, but still, this film is just awful on a lot of accounts. From the acting, to the story, to the screenplay. And the only silver lining was probably the action scenes. But other than that, this is a cash grab if I ever seen one. Now granted, they really should have took their time, look at the 1987 film, and draw parallels from that movie, and incorporate it into this one. I mean, how does Alex Murphy feels about being a cyborg? How does his whole entire outlook looks, after he's nearly killed in this film? Not only that, we don't get to know more about his wife and child. Now, I do admit they tried something at least with that. We see his wife and child more in this film than in the original movie. In the original film, we never seen them other than like a flashback scene, well. But in this one, it was explored a little bit, not enough to make me really care about those 2 characters, but it's something. But, this movie is just a giant waste of time. I was bored throughout the film. It made me yawn many times throughout it. And generally when I do that, I find the film pretty boring. Nonetheless though, despite how awful this film is, it's not like one of the worst films I've ever seen. I've seen a lot worse movies than this, but this film, it is a horrible representation of what the 1987 film had. In other words, this remake doesn't get the job done at all. I'm giving this film a 5 out of 10. Yeah, this is the second worst film in the franchise. Despite the impressive cast, no one has a standout moment. Not even the lead, Joel Kinnaman. I mean, at least he tries, but it's not his fault. He had a terrible script to work with. Nonetheless, though, this movie has a whole bunch of issues. It's not entertaining, it's not fun, it's flat, boring. They wasted Samuel L. Jackson in this movie. I mean, he is a great actor, but He's not in this film long enough, but that's the least of this film's problems. If you somehow never seen this film, stay far away from it because this film just tries to be a cash grab, and it's nothing more than that at the end of the day. And that's my review of the 2014 film RoboCop. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this film. And also, what is your favorite movie in this franchise? And speaking of this franchise, there is a future titled film called RoboCop Returns in development that's supposed to happen sometime in the future. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying, peace out.